Hello everyone, this is Melanie from Melanie B's Creative Studio, and today we're going to do something completely different, and I'm totally obsessed. So you guys know that I do my own DIY manis, and this is my self-care therapy, and I love to do my own manicures. So the reason I use these tips instead of painting them on my own nails is my own nails are not very healthy. I have psoriasis. And so what I've done so far is I've just buffed the top of these little tips, and then I took that little brush and just swept off any dust. Everything I'm going to show you, you can do on your natural nail. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm taking the Hollow Taco lasting base, and what this does is this just grips everything that I'm going to put on top. So what I like to do as a YouTuber is I like to make a set of nails, and then I will wear them temporarily, and then I will take them off and wear them again in the future. So whatever I put on this set of nails, I want to make sure that stays on and doesn't chip and get ruined. And so that's why I make sure that I'm going to use products that are going to last. All of the products I'm using today are going to be from Maniology. This one is called Shaka Santa, and it is a gorgeous red for Christmas. It's got sparkle in it, and this one is called Fleece. Now, this one was just released in a box for Christmas, and I will list everything, as I mentioned, in the description. This is their Bam White. It is a beautiful, just bright white polish. And this one is the smudge-free top coat. You guys, this is a must-have. You cannot not do the smudge-free top coat. This is a Hollow Taco super glossy top coat, and what we're going to do with that is put that on the top after we're done with everything, and I'll come back to that in a minute. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to go ahead with that Shaka Santa, and I'm going to put a base coat on these nail tips. I'm going to alternate the Shaka Santa, the Bam White, and the Fleece, and just kind of a pattern. One thing I did not mention is when I was buffing the top, I also took a nail file and I filed off the rough edge on the front of each nail. And so I was just checking to make sure that that was really smooth. Okay, so here I'm going in with the Fleece, and I'm just going to use a single coat. Stamping polishes dry very fast. So I want to make sure that I'm just doing a single layer, making sure my layers are smooth. I'd rather have a thin coat the first time than to do a thick coat and have it clumpy. You can do this however you want. You can paint every single nail with that Shaka Santa and stamp with whatever colors you want on top. That's the beauty of this, is your creativity is the only thing limiting you, and that is what I love about the nail stamping. That is why I'm bringing it to you on my Creative Studio channel. People are probably like, why are we doing this when you are a paint by number, enthusiast? Well, this is another creative outlet for me. So here is the fun part. This is when we get into the stamping portion. And I'm going to slow this down to real time, and we're going to enjoy the process here. When you receive a stamping plate, it's going to have this blue film over the top. You're going to want to remove that first. And now your stamping plate is ready to use. That is all it takes. I'm going to be using the Santa's Workshop Holiday Starter Box that came with this stamper, this scraper card, and the plate. And I'm also going to be using this stamper. This stamper has two different sizes on it, which I like. In addition, I'm going to be using the sticky stamper station from Maniology. You just peel off this top layer, and it gives you a very sticky surface, which is how we're going to clean our stampers. And that's all you have to do when you have a brand new stamper, is just stamp it onto the sticky stamper station, and it will take off any residue. You do not have to clean this. You don't have to wash this off. Just stamp it on that surface. All right, now let's go in with the Bam White nail polish. We're going to put a pretty decent amount above the design we want. And then we're going to take the scraper card, and we're going to hold it at a 45-degree angle, pull it down, wipe it off on the paper towel. You're going to rock your stamper and pick up that image, and it was perfect. Quickly set it down on your nail and rock it, and you can see how it transferred onto that nail. Now, I didn't get it all the way on the right side, so I'm just going to line it up because I can see through the stamper. and I'm going to press it down, and I still have enough time to get it to transfer, and there it is. Is it not beautiful? Now, because that stamping polish dries so quickly, it is perfectly dry. Now, was that not like magic? All right, so that one's done. Now to clean off my stamper, I'm going to take it to the stamper station, stamp it down, and it is clean. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm taking that smudge-free top coat and I'm going right over that stamped nail, and it doesn't smudge, it doesn't smear. And this is a required step because this particular top coat is the only kind that will not let these polishes smear. If you went in with a regular top coat, the polishes would smear and run together. So you need this smudge-free top coat before you would put on any other kind of top coat. I use acetone and a cotton round or a cotton ball to clean the plates off. I also use a grabber tool, which allows me to pick up the cotton round without having to touch the acetone after my nails have been done. And then I can just wipe off these plates. You do not have to clean the plates after every use, but you do have to clean them if you're going to use the same design over. But you always want to make sure you're cleaning the plates after you finish your stamping session and before you put them away. All right, so let's go in with another design, and I'm going to use one of the nails that has fleece on it, and we're going back in with Bam White, and I'm going to select this snowflake one, and I hate that the fluorescent lights are kind of hiding what I'm doing here. I'm going to take that card and slide it again a couple of times, take my stamper and rock it over the design. You can see, I always look to see if I got a good pickup, set it on top of the nail tip, and I wish you could see this too, but I kind of rock it back and forth, and I got a great pickup. I mean, it really stamped beautifully. Be sure to clean your stamper between every design. Now I'm going in with another nail. I'm just going to move from nail to nail so you've kind of seen the process. Let's go in with the Shaka Santa. Take that card, slide it, pick it up with my stamper, going in on a white nail, and what a beautiful image this one is. So I'm going to do another nail at high speed, Bam White, over this particular image, and I'm going to scrape it. I'm going to stamp it down. Beautiful. And that is a fleece polished nail. Now let's go in and put our smudge-free top coat on there. I wait about probably 30 seconds for the polish to dry before I put that smudge-free top coat. I'm going to take a white nail and I'm going to go in with a polka dot because for some reason it just felt right. Now this one ended up looking more like a Minnie Mouse from Disney, but it was super cute. Yeah, for some reason it gave me that vibe. All right, the next nail is a Shaka Santa polished nail, and I went in with this white with a plaid, and it was gorgeous. This is probably one of my favorites. I don't know why, but that just felt like wrapping paper to me. It was just a fabulous, simple design. So let's talk about what you need to do if you just want to pick up a small image. You're going to follow the same procedures. You're just going to put a small amount of your polish down first. You're going to scrape it. In this case, I had a little extra polish, so I scraped it twice. I'm going to take a smaller stamper and I'm going to rock it and pick it up. Now you can see where I picked up some extra image from surrounding sections. I'm going to take my scraper card and I'm going to take those extra images off, and I'm going to stamp that ho 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 onto that red nail. I do not want those extra images transferring onto my nail, so I have to make sure I get those off first. So now I'm going to go in with words, and words are a little tricky sometimes, only if you're using a very glittery polish. So I'm going to be using the Bam White on this Shaka Santa. So I'm going to be cleaning up that stamper again by picking up any extra bits that might have gotten on there. I'm going to stamp that down, and it was a perfect transfer. Now let's talk about something called reverse stamping. What we're going to do is we're going to fill in an image. We're going to start with straight up black as our outline. We're going to take one of our stampers and we're going to pick it up. And now this one was not a complete image, so I'm going to go ahead and clean off my stamper head. I'm going to clean off my plate, as I explained earlier on how to do that. I'm going to just stamp it again. I want to make sure that the outline is a nice pickup. I'm going to clean off all the extra little bits. Then I'm going to take the colors that I want to fill this little elf in with, and I'm going to put them on my silicone mat as my palette. And using my favorite double-ended nail brush from Maniology, I'm going to paint the image by dotting on the colors that I want onto that stamper head, just like we would with paint by numbers. For me, this is the most fun little way to customize your manicure. So I'm not really pulling the polish because it does dry quickly. It almost removes it if you pull it. So you just want to dot that paint in, because this is going on a white nail and I didn't want the white to be completely white. So I added a little bit of fleece to the ball on the hat, and anywhere there would have been white, I put some of that fleece mixed with the white. If you want to see what it's going to look like, you flip the stamper over and it shows you exactly how it's going to look once you put it down. What I ended up also doing is deciding that I needed some skin color, and I got this color of pink, and I will put the color in the description below because I can't remember right off the top of my head what color this is. And I mixed it with some white to give my elf some flesh tone, and then I filled it in. And you don't need to get a lot of polish here. It doesn't need to be thick. So I'm going to let my elf sit to dry for a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to pull out a dapping dish that I got from Amazon that's got some brush cleaning solution in it. I'm going to clean off that brush, pull it across some paper towels just like I would my detail brushes, and that way I'm able to keep that point in perfect condition. Now I'm going to go in with the sticky base coat. So we're going to put a layer of this on the nail, and this is going to set for 45 seconds. Once it is tacky to the touch, then we're able to stamp our elf onto the nail, and it's going to stick. And there we go. It's done. Now we're just going to apply our smudge-free top coat, and our little elf is set. The only thing he needs now is a face. So while I'm allowing the elf to dry, I'm going to go ahead and do one of the final white nails. I'm picking up Holly Jolly, and I'm going to stamp it down with the Shaka Santa red, and then I'm going to add a little tiny gift, little present right beside it. This one is so little, and I was being brave by trying to go in with a glittery nail polish, and I was able to finally pick that little tiny gift up and get it on there. So this adorable stamping plate with the elves has a multitude of eyes and expressions. So I'm picking up some eyes, and because our stampers are clear, we can see where we're lining up those little eyes to put them on this elf's face. And I wish I had the camera set up to where you could see where the eyes are going, but you can see in that still shot right there that I lined them up perfectly. And I'm going in with a final smudge-free top coat to make sure that everything is set in place, and that way he's perfected. And my final step is that I'm adding a super glossy top coat by Holo Taco to all of these nail tips. I do that for myself as an extra layer of protection, just to make sure that I don't chip these nail tips in any way. So the next thing I'm going to do is show you how I apply these nail tips for a temporary wear, because I like to take them off in about 5 days and reapply another set. So if you want to see how I do that, keep watching. The steps you're going to take to prepare your nails are always going to be the same, regardless of whether you're going to use tips or whether you're going to apply the products directly to your natural nail. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to push your cuticles back. Then you're going to file your natural nail into the shape that you want. I need to make sure that my nails are fairly short, because when I put on tips, I don't want the natural nails showing underneath. Then I'm going to take something and rough up the surface. Now, the reason I'm going to do this, and the reason you're going to do this, is that we want a rough surface to make sure that anything we put on top is going to adhere and stick. I'm going to take an alcohol wipe, and I'm just going to take off any natural oils that might be on the surface of our nail. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a drill, but I'll tell you, to be honest, using a nail drill to do this will make these tips fling across the room. And since I've done this video, I have found the perfect tool. It is a glass cuticle pusher, and I will put those in the description below. But you need to make sure that you are etching the inside of the nail tips before you apply these adhesive tabs. It's very important if you want these to stay on. I actually purchased this set of adhesive tabs on Amazon, and I pulled off the top layer of the protective packing. I'm using a pair of tweezers to pull the tabs off and apply them on the inside of the nail tip. There are actually two ways you can do this. You can apply the tab on the nail tips themselves, or you can apply the tab on your nail. So in a minute, you're going to see me hold that clear plastic up to my nails and see which size is going to fit my nail best and apply it to the natural nail. There is a protective tab on the top of that glue dot, and I don't have to remove that until I am ready to apply the tip. That way, that sticky layer is not getting any dust or debris or anything on it until I'm ready to put the tips on. So I did that with all the nail tips, and I love this mani. I hope you guys love it. Please drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this mani. Now, let me give you a few final, very important tips. Normally, you would finish your manicure with cuticle oil, but one thing you need to remember, you have to stay away from nail tips like this with cuticle oil. I am not getting near my tips with cuticle oil. I'm staying back and I'm massaging it into the skin below my nail tips. The reason you don't want to get it near these tips is you can loosen the adhesive. Do not wash dishes, do not take a shower, do not do any of that for about 4 hours after you put this adhesive on because it's going to loosen them. All right, well, that's it for today. I hope you love this video. I know it's totally different than anything I've brought to you before, but you know how I do. So I love to bring you new and different ideas for creative endeavors, and I hope this was no different. You guys, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and drop a comment and tell me what you think. Thanks as always for watching. I will see you back soon.